I think Gestalt tends to be everybody's favorite. I don't know if it's because it's a fun name to say or what. Um, but Gestalt, or maybe it's always because this picture tends to show up when we talk about Gestalt. But it's very different than looking at structuralism. Think of your favorite song, individually the notes. Some people might look at the notes and see the whole song there, but individually the notes don't say a whole lot, or individually the instruments don't tend to say a whole lot, but you put it all together and you've got something kind of amazing. At least some music does. So that's kind of what it is. You take pieces and you put together the whole. That's what we're talking about with Gestalt. We take individual pieces and the brain puts it together. So why aren't we clicking? There we go. We kind of looked at that. All right. All right, behaviorism. This is one that we have not really talked about. Not behavioralism, behaviorism. Watson, J.B. Watson, focused solely on observable things. Observable things. How do people respond to stimuli in their environment? Um, they did not think the mind could be understood. This could be you. You might not think that we can really understand that control center in there. Since we could not understand it, why try to guess? It's what it had to do with our actions. This could be misleading. He focused on observable studies like the Little Albert study. This was not necessarily the nicest thing that Skinner did about making, pigeons and other animals come up with operant conditioning and making children cry and things like that. Pavlov did this. Pavlov, of course, ringing the bell and feeding the dogs and, watching their mouths water and things like that. Little Albert, though, was something that there's now a lot of laws about, making children cry and things like that and how we operate. I have to move myself a lot here, don't I? Because I tend to be in the way of myself here. Psychoanalysis, Freudian psychology. You're like, yes, Freud. Then you're gonna watch a video and I'm gonna go, oh, okay, kind of creepy and stuff. But you might already know that there's some creepiness here. And again, I just don't have my screen as big as I need to. I'll pull this down here. Founded by Sigmund Freud and his followers, psychoanalysis focused on mental disorders. It actually takes like two. And that's when we get into the abnormal psychology. So there we go. Sorry, I did not make this big enough. So it's kind of moving around a little bit here. You do have the slides as well. Freud thought that behavior came from from unconscious experience, drives, and conflicts. The term daddy issues actually kind of came from this. And so I'll move it down here as we're talking here. Forgotten memories could also impact your present, according to Freud. He moved away from controlled laboratory experiments and he focused on observation and reflection. He's associated with the couch, um, where people could talk freely. He did not necessarily use empirical data. He did not necessarily follow the scientific method. He came up with a lot of theories in various areas of psychology, and a lot of them have been disproven. He still has many theories that are discussed today, and psychoanalysis has led to quite a few methods of how people are still being treated today. Psychotherapy has come out of psychoanalysis. And I'm going to cut this off at this point and move on to some other perspectives.